What's going on, Washington fans? Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I have great news per Ben Standing. As you can see on your screen, we're going to dive into this. And then on the later portion of the video, talk about some not so important news that we kind of thought was coming. We'll talk about that later. Dorance Armstrong to IR and a corresponding move to that. We'll talk about that later. Make sure you guys hit the like button on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Trying to reach 3,000 subscribers, about 500 away, and make sure you guys smash that hype button as well. So, as you can see right here, Ben Standing says, "Want some good news?" Yes, Ben, I want good news. I'm depressed. I'm deprived as a Commanders fan right now, and he says Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel are set to practice this week. Now, does this mean they are guaranteed to practice this week? No, no, because we were lied to last week about this same situation. Well, not lied to. Like, it's hard for Dan to anticipate what's exactly going to happen, but we were told that Terry McLaurin was going to practice last week. We were told that by Dan Quinn, and he did not practice most of the days. So I hope this is true this time, but it seems true. I mean, you have guys talking about this, around the community right now. It seems like it's true. It seems like Dan Quinn's not going to or Ben Standing's not going to deliver this update, and it's going to be false, right? I think Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel are going to practice this week, and that's huge because this Sunday's game is a code, or this Monday's game is a code red game for the Commanders. You have to win this game. You feel like, I mean, even if you don't, you can. And I talked about this in the pod earlier. Like, you can put a stretch together where you ultimately put yourself back in the race, but you feel like can win this game, you can galvanize this team and just get this team uh some momentum, some type of like this Chiefs. If we beat the Chiefs, this is a galvanizing win. Like, this is a win that turns the season around, completely changes the whole dynamic around this team. Now, am I saying we're gonna win? No, but we have a better shot to win with our top two weapons back. Wide receiver one, Terry McLaurin, wide receiver two, Deebo Samuel, looking like they're gonna be back this week. Deebo Samuel with a heel injury, probably should have missed last Monday night, or the Bears Monday night. Probably should have missed that because he was ineffective either way. But either way, he looks like he'll be back, and he's going to practice this week. Terry McLaurin, obviously out with that quad for a long time. Since he played week 3, he's been out since week 4. So Terry's been out since week 4. He has to make that return. I've seen a mixed amount of people like saying whether if he's going to play or not, if he's going to come back soon or not. I've seen like Lake Lewis. I heard that Lake thinks, he could get IR'd, right? I've heard certain people say he's going to come back this week. You don't know what you can believe, but you make your best, um, decision, right? What do you think's going to happen? And I'm making my best guess that he'll be back this week. I think it's going to be ultimately if he practices Thursday or not, because they're not going to have practice tomorrow. So they'll practice Thursday, Friday, and Saturday since it's a Monday night game. So ultimately, if he's not out there Thursday, which we would be lied to by Standing. And again, they're not going to get all this right, but we would be lied to by Standing if he does not practice. So he's going to practice on Thursday. Deebo's going to practice on Thursday. You're not going to make an article about this if it's not true, if you're not for sure 100%. So these guys are going to be practicing this week, and I'm very encouraged and excited by this. Again, if you can somehow get Jaden back this week and you have Deebo and Terry back, like, you just feel like, you have some sort of chance. Because again, anytime Five's on the field, we have a chance. Now, if Five's on the field with Chris Moore, Luke McCaffrey, Jalen Lane, it's not so good of a chance. But when he's out there with Terry, Deebo, then Chris Moore, then Luke McCaffrey, then Jalen Lane, you feel like you have a solid chance. And again, the offense is going to have to be perfect. So getting these guys back contributes to the offense trying to be perfect, because the defense isn't going to help us out at all. So good news there that Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel are set to practice. Again, you need those guys back. You need them back in the lineup. So I think both of their injuries were not too extreme. I think Deebo just needed a rest for a few weeks, for a few games, and he's back this week. I'm for sure Deebo's back this week. I think we're all kind of for sure about that. Now, again, if he doesn't practice Thursday, that's a great indicator that he's not going to play. But I think Deebo will play. Now, Terry, that's the one, it's like 50-50, right? You could make a guess that he will. You could make a guess that he won't. I mean, you'd have even odds there. I would again. I think he plays. I think he shows up in this game and plays. And I'm not ready to have trade Terry conversations. You guys have fun. Like, enjoy joining the bandwagon. I'm gonna be a loner here, like me and a few others. I'm gonna be a loner here, and I'm just gonna say that none of this is caused by Terry. I mean, Jaden getting hurt is not caused by Terry. Dietrich, Austin, Javante Jean Baptiste, Will Harris. It's not caused by Terry. I don't know why you guys are just blaming it all on Terry McLaurin. It's not caused by him. So I'm happy to have my guy back. That's my guy, Terry. I don't know about you. That's my guy. And I'm happy to have him back. And I'm rooting on him and I support him. Even if he doesn't care about this team, but it looks like he might not, I'm going to support him as long as he's a Washington Commander. So love Terry, love Debo. Glad to have him back. All right. I just don't go piling in the comments about Terry unless you feel so strong about the topic. You have to get your fingers typing about Terry. It's not his fault that all these guys get hurt. It's just not. If you can't get through that through your head, I mean, it's not like Terry came on the field and hurt Will Harris. So his tibia, he breaks his leg basically. Like, it's not like he's gonna come on the field and snap his leg in half, right? It's a weird analogy, but it's not. I mean, that's what you guys are saying when you're saying Terry's, ruined this year. Now, if you're saying it in the sense that him and Adam took too long in their negotiations, I'd agree with you there. But he didn't do it because of the injuries. So good to have Terry and Debo back. Now let's get to the news that came out earlier. Dorance Armstrong, has gone to IR, so injured reserve. He will not be back this year. Dan Quinn told us that yesterday that we're not going to see Dorance Armstrong for the rest of the year. You lose your most consistent pass rusher. The only guy that can consistently get to the quarterback on this team, it feels like, is now gone. So you're not going to have DA. That hurts. It sucks. He was a half a sack away from $200,000 pay bonus. So it stinks for him. And Dan Quinn talked about it on Monday. He said it sucks to lose him because he was making really good strides. But what are you going to do? The injury monster got him as well. So it's been a victim to a lot of people this year, right? So DA's out for the year. And a corresponding move to that, you have a roster spot available. So the team decided to pick up Jalen Holmes back. They released him on Saturday to free up space for the guys they needed for Sunday, the Cowboys game, and they released him. Glad no one picked him up because we need him. And so we don't need him, but we want him there. We want Jalen there. He's a developmental guy. Sometimes he gets meaningful reps in the game. They signed him to the active roster. They didn't just sign him to the practice squad. Jalen Holmes is on the active roster. They need guys. They need bodies. So glad to have Jalen Holmes back, man. That's the guy that I think I'm a loner on this as well, but I think Jalen Holmes is really solid, and I think he's a developmental guy, like I said. So I'm glad to have Jalen Holmes back. Glad he's back in the mix. Glad that we could get him back, and he has been added to the roster again in a corresponding move to DA going to IR. So those are your Commanders updates today. Terry and Debo are set to practice this week. Now, we don't know if they're going to play this Sunday, but it seems like they're making good strides to their return. Even if they play on Monday, like, they're probably not going to win, right? You're probably not going to beat the Chiefs, but it's good to have those guys back, getting them back in the offense. If you're going to make a push at this season, you can't do it without your top two wide receivers, your top two guys, your top two targets. Good to have these guys back. And then again, DA is going on IR. Don't know how we're going to get pressure, but hopefully Joe Witt Jr. can find something, So we'll see. But that's going to do it for me. You guys have a great rest of your day. Get out of here. Commanders won't have practice tomorrow. So we'll come up with some content for tomorrow, man. Probably a live stream. So that's going to do it for me. Hail to the Washington Commanders. As always, I will see you guys in the next one. And peace.